ESPN is so many people who work there grew up close to ESPN. So they grew up with a dream of being there and being able to work behind the scenes and create these stories and tell this story. And now their job is gone, right? What I'm dealing with is, in truth, a first world problem. But there are some people who are truly counting on what ESPN was going to do for them to feed their family. And, you know, so my thoughts and my prayers are with them as well.
I think the big question is, did you see it coming? Could you take us inside that moment?
Yes and no. I'm upset with myself from this perspective. There were signs, but I truly thought for the first time in my life, I worked so hard at something. I was so good at something. Everybody acknowledged that I was, that they couldn't fire me, that they wouldn't fire me. That a company who's going to have the Super Bowl this year, who truly wants to put their best foot forward to the entire world and have the best people talking about football, wouldn't fire, in my opinion, this is my opinion, and it seems to be the opinion of many others, the best football analyst in the world. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that, and that's my fault. You know, this offseason, our piece on Monday Night Football with Greg Brooks won an award, a diversity award. And our showrunner and our director and our producer were so excited, and it was like, PR is going to post it. And it never happened. And eventually I just posted it myself, and then PR reached out like, oh, I'm so sorry that we missed it, but the Emmys are coming up and we'll post it afterwards. And I just remember sending a text to one of the people I work with, and I said, they're not going to post that. They don't care. A company that posts about, you know, cool things like spelling bees and post about the family feuds and all of these things didn't care about an actual segment on our show about a young man like Greg. Didn't care about that enough because of me to use it.
Was that ever addressed?
No, it was never addressed. Family Feud. Yeah. They have an NFL Live Family Feud, a show that I've been a part of, that I won a sports Emmy for being a part of, that's won 2 Emmys in a row because of the core of Laura Rutledge, Marcus Spears, Dan Orlowski, Mina Kimes, and Ryan Clark. You go do Family Feud, and Marcus and I aren't there, but Marcus was asked. And when I reached out to the people who were involved, they just said, one said, we never asked for you. Another said, these 2 people were already on Pat's show, and that's why you and Marcus weren't on. But Marcus was asked, I wasn't. So there were just signs throughout the season, like even now. If you look at everything for the Super Bowl year, I'm not on any of that. A guy that's supposed to be a part of Monday Night Football, a man that's supposed to be a part of NFL Live, a man that's a huge part of First Take, was a part of building Get Up. So to me, the signs were always there. And I called, man.
Yeah.
I called executives. I called decision makers. I called bosses. Is my schedule changing? What's it look like? And it was never a definitive answer. But I think it was never a definitive answer because this was always the plan.
Yeah. And you're not a shy dude. Like you said, I know you ain't just sitting in the shadows with your head down. You're going to address situations. But if it's not performance-based, what's it based off of?
Well, to address the head down thing, what makes me a little bit sad about myself is I did adjust who I was to try to keep my job. I did have meetings with people and say, okay, what is it that you need from me? Not the analyst. The analyst he was damn good, right? If you care about the person that's on TV, what is it you need from me? Because I want to do that. I want to build a relationship. I want to involve you in the things I'm doing. You know, man, like this show, for 3 years, bro, we never shied away from any topic. Right. We never shied away from tackling anything. We did this year because I knew I couldn't have no beef. I knew I couldn't respond to disrespect, right? I knew, for lack of a better word, I couldn't be too black. what makes me sad is even in trying to adjust to be at least more of what certain people wanted, they still fired me. And so I think that is difficult. I think it's about some of who I am, and it's about certain executives not connecting to that, not supporting that, not wanting to champion that, not wanting to give that the vast platform that is ESPN. And I think they utilized it to make an example of me.
But RC, you called some people to figure out what you can do. Did anybody give you a heads up?
Yeah, I
So I seen Ryan Clark, man. I wasn't even gonna work on no videos for this channel, but I seen what he said that, the headline is he said he was too black for ESPN. But I seen a little bit of the segment and I put it in there. He did on the Pivot podcast, and I think he did right by speaking his piece. And a lot of people ask me why I don't do more media credential events and stuff like this. This is one of the more critical reasons why, is what he said in the beginning, is that, he let shit slide and he stopped being so confrontational, to protect his job. And he said, I was finally good at something where I thought I was above being fired. I was so comfortable and so good at my job and I won an Emmy. But then after a while, none of that mattered, and he just said so much in this video that I can kind of relate to. It's like when he got to the point where he said that, he asked him, did you see this coming with them getting rid of you? And he said there were signs, in hindsight, there were signs that I wish I'd have looked at and they basically in hindsight, he looked back, he like, damn, I missed the signs. But check out the Real 101 playlist, music entertainment playlist. So he said a lot of things, right? But when he kind of was like, yeah, when I said, like, as men, when something like this happened, we like to have foresight. We like to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? You can't be prepared for everything, but he was looking and now he thinking about like, damn. And that's what it is. When you a black man in this country and you good at your job or you exceptional at your job, you got to remember a lot of times you're brought in and the job is in the deficit. They couldn't find nobody else to fix this shit. So you got the job because, they really didn't want to give you the job, but they really needed somebody to fix this bullshit. And a lot of times, a lot of brothers get into positions like that and they do the impossible. You don't have a lot of time to really fix this shit neither. If it don't hit, they not giving you the grace that they give, people that they really rock with, if you catch my drift. You don't get that same grace. You gotta fix it. You gotta learn quick, fix it fast. And when you accomplish that feat in America as a black man, when you accomplish that feat, you don't get public recognition throughout your company. They don't acknowledge you like that. They don't big you up like that. They give you your credit in silence. Trust me. They give you your credits in silence. I had a job at one point when I was in college. I was working at a sandwich shop in Southfield, Michigan called Cozy. It's no longer there. I believe it's a Famous Dave's Hot Chicken or some shit now. That shit good though. I like Dave Famous Dave's, depending which one you go to. But and all the women there gave me it was mostly women management, so they voted me as employee of the month and shit. I ain't know. Never got it. I'm gonna explain it. And the guy that was the manager, he did not like me for whatever reason. He ain't rock with me. It was cool, you know what I'm saying? And he was like a little Mexican cat. And one of the ladies, her name was Rhonda. She was a real nice lady, real sweet lady, right? And she was like, yeah, between me and you, we voted you employee of the month. but John just won't give it to you. He just won't give it. He didn't give. And I like, that was like my introduction to that shit, bro. Like, real talk, that was my introduction to that. So I very, very can sympathize with him when you think you're really good at your job, or and he got a job like that. ESPN ratings was in a deficit. That's why they turned to Cam Newton. That's why they turned to Ryan Clark. That's why they turn into certain people, because they use you, get your numbers up, then they get rid of you. But, you know, for the most part with him, he's dealing with what a lot of brothers deal with in this country. You know, they'll get you to fix the job, you know what I'm saying? And it don't always necessarily happen this way, but then they'll start sabotaging you. They'll start, you know, not giving you raises, not giving you promotions, and you'll fix the job, and they'll do things for you to lead the company. And you will lead a company for a better position, or people that, or more money, and they won't advance you. But you see they advance people that shouldn't be advanced, you like, all right, I get it. You know, I can't get recognition at the workplace. You know what I'm saying? I can't get the proper raises, bonuses. You know, I did an exceptional job under immense pressure to do it expeditiously. So yeah, but he got to the point where, you know, another thing I want to talk about, where he said he got to the point where he thought he was so good that he was above the law. You know what I'm saying? And then when he thought that, he thought really he was above the law, reading between the lines, is because he stopped beefing with certain people, because he was controversial. He was feeling himself. He was going out there, going at RG3, an ex-ESPNer, talking about his baby mama and his wife was white, and he had a white baby mama. Yeah, he was going off the rockers, defending Angel Reese when that bitch wouldn't defend you at all. Yeah, he definitely got a big head. He definitely thought he was bigger than the mayor. You know what I'm saying? He really did. He thought he was bigger than the company. And to kind of like tip my hat to him, he was exceptional on TV. I fuck with him. I fuck with the whole crew. Him, Shannon, Fred. Fred was one of my favorite players growing up. But he isn't exceptional with a microphone. But, you know, and I addressed the black comment. He was too black. I mean, Shannon Sharp said the same thing. They was telling him he was at ESPN the first time with Skip. He was being too black and all that type of stuff. And you can't be who you want to be in Hollywood, especially working for Walt Disney. That's who on ESPN. You can't be who you want to be. So when you choose to get into that avenue with ESPN or Hollywood, leave that black as fuck shit at the door. If you're gonna help people and do things and get people through the door, you know, do what Stephen A. do. Just help brothers get on and give them, sisters get on and give them an opportunity, and do your philanthropy and give game behind the scenes. You know, people talk shit about Stephen A., but he got to play the game, right? But Stephen A. Help all these brothers out, boost their podcast, show up on their podcast, probably punctual, probably communicate. You know, and I say this all the time, as much, you know, issues that Stephen A. have and what he did, I get it, he got to play the game. But he helped a lot of these brothers in this space. He's came on their show, and everybody want to talk about what you said, all the bad things they think you said or did. Let's talk about the good things that brother did. That brother done a lot of good things, man. Real talk. He's done a lot of, and he got to play the game. But Ryan Clark, you know, when you decide, in general, when you decide to make that move, like when you go into corporate America, leave that Black Lives Matter shit, leave that black shit, leave that dashiki, leave that FBA shit at the door. You know what I'm saying? Leave that shit at the door. You here to get your chili. Now, if you want to do that, then start your own stuff. And that's what Ryan Clark did. He went on ESPN. He boosted himself up. He went on there, boosted his Pivot podcast, and just keep running the numbers up, bro. That's all you got to do. I like what Cam Newton said. I did a long video on that. He said that he just used it as an internship. He used to learn where he can boost his own stuff up, where you can talk how you want to talk. You can speak how you want to speak. You know what I'm saying? Do your own things. And let me say this before, when he kind of say, my bad, before I get to this point, he being too black, of course, leave that shit at the door. But what I really wanted to say, this is why I don't credential and form relationships with people, is because people get mad at what you say. You know, even if it's honesty, people get mad. So you can't talk how you want to talk on the programs. You can't speak like that. But guess what? Eventually, all these motherfuckers slip up, usually, and say something, and gotta apologize, or somebody get offended, or they're offended by something you say because they mistranslated it or they took it the wrong way, and now you apologize, and then now people unsubbing and brand deals dropping, and you didn't even say or do nothing. People just misunderstood what you said or took what you said wrong. That's why I just do my own thing, man, because A lot of these dudes be tender as hell. A lot of these dudes be moist as hell. A lot of people take shit to offense, and they too sensitive, bro. They too sensitive, man. So that's the reason why I just do your own thing, man. And if they gonna give me enough money to go to their company and do that, then they gotta know what they sign up for, or it gotta be a hell of a lot of money. That's why I love being able to be the boss of my own shit on here. I love it, bro. I tried to team up shit, and shit don't work. Shit don't work. That's why I just love doing my own shit, running it how I run it. It's definitely liberation in entrepreneurship, or doing things the way you want to be able to do them and how you want to do them. It's definitely liberating that way, where you ain't got to step on eggshells, speak on worry about nobody else. But Ryan, it come with the territory to keep it a being, dog. So I feel what he's saying. Everything that he's saying, a lot of the brothers gonna be able to speak on that in corporate America, bro. That's regular corporate America for a black dude. No matter how exceptional you are, you never get your flowers that you deserve. And if you get the flowers that you get some flowers, you probably deserve 105 more flowers. We get jobs that they can't find they homies to fix. They allow their homies or their cronies or the people that look like them to get into these jobs, and they fuck them up, and they hire up. And then once you do the job the right way, you do good, and you get it together, they get rid of you. Or they basically do things to get rid of you, not give you raises, promote people over you, all that type of stuff for you to leave. And then now that you got the formula to how it work, now they want to put somebody in that position. That's why that's why you can't always get a sauce out, bro. This is why you always don't get a sauce out to people, because they want to know how you do this and that, so they can take that and give it to the next person. But it is what it is, or it is what it ain't. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, the whole 9. Peace.